The driver of the number 21 Motorcraft Quick Lane Tire and Auto Center Ford, Ryan Blaney. Ryan, welcome. Last week you started second. The week before that you started third. Following that trend there, are we going to see the pole position today?
Hope so. I thought our car had really good speed off the bat in race trim and kind of faded a little bit. And our qualifying trim stuff wasn't really where we wanted it to be. But the good thing about having 4 hours before we qualify, you can sit down and really diagnose what you need and try to get that better. So I know our team has been working hard, and really all three cars have been really fast in qualifying trim. So hopefully we can get that first pole today. So
excellent. We'll open it up to questions now. We're going to start with Kelly and then go to Wolfgang.
Kelly Crandall, Racer.com. Ryan, a few races into the season, something that stood out is how fast not only you and Penske have been, but all the Fords seem to really be starting off strong, have speed. Is there something different that's been going on this year? Is it a different feel? Is it just working closer together? What's been the difference so far that it's so widespread?
I think it's just hard work in the off season. It's like you said, it's not only the Wood Brothers team or the Penske group, but Stewart Haas cars have been really fast as well, and the Roush cars are showing some speed as well. So, Ford has always worked very closely together with all the teams, and now I think the teams are starting to work a little bit more together to try to share information. And when we get one Ford in victory lane, it benefits everybody, no matter what team you're on. But I think it's just hard work in the off season from the motor department at Roush Yates to the OEMs at Ford, improving what we need on the body side, and it's just a lot of hard work in the off season. So it's nice to be on top of things. To start off, you never want to be playing catch up. So it's nice to be out. I wouldn't say ahead right now. There's a lot of fast teams out there, but I definitely think we're on the right path for sure. But it's all about improving and getting better each week. So.
We'll go to your right to Wolfgang, then Holly.
Wolfgang Monzer from German Rennsport Press Agency. You used the word qualifying trims. That means for the race you retrim it to race configuration?
Yeah, so Fridays, certain teams will have a certain schedule. Some will start off in qualifying trim, and you have to really change your whole race car for qualifying trim, whether that's the balance under the car or aero side. You tape off the whole front grille to get it more downforce. So that is qualifying trim, but some teams will start in race trim to try to get a feel of how their race setup is for Sunday and try to get a little bit of head start on Saturday. And we've been doing that a lot this year. We used to start in Q trim on Fridays, and I felt like the information on starting off Saturday in race trim we would be behind on that. So I know there are a handful of teams start off in qualifying trim today, but most of them are race trim stuff, and that's been benefiting us a lot on Fridays, is starting in race trim and then swapping over, and then you can think about what improvements you need to make to your car before Saturday. And while we've been lucky to do that because we've had speed and qualifying trim to where we don't have to change the whole race car if we only get 1 or 2 runs in, so that's really helped.
We'll go to Holly and then Lee.
NASCAR.com. I wanted to ask you about early season being right up there with you, Kyle Larson, Chase. You guys are right up in the points, up top in the points standings. You're doing well right off the bat. There was no easing in or grooving into how well you guys would do this season. Could you just talk about the fast start for all three of you, in particular yourself?
Yeah, it's been a good start for our team for sure. We're really early still, and there's a long ways to go, but it's been pretty neat to start off on the right foot and then build off of that. Like I said, you never want to start behind and then you're kind of panicking, but it's been nice to have some good runs early. And yeah, like you said, Larson and Chase, they've been a little bit better than us starting off this year, with Larson leading the points, and I think Chase is second or third right now. So, while we want to beat those guys, it's cool to see some younger drivers running very well. But I feel like while we kind of started really hot out of the gate, at least our team is just confident level, being a little bit more confident from last year, and you get a full season under your belt, and you kind of step back in the off season and you kind of can pick out points you want to improve on, and you make a list and you go to work really hard in the off season to try to improve on those certain areas, whether it's driving style for the driver, or communication between the teams, or personnel. So, and I think we've hit on a lot of those goals that we had. While we're still getting better and better, but it's nice to have a good start right away. So like I said, hopefully we can keep getting better and just keep momentum rolling. That's all you can ask for.
We're going to go to Lee, and then we're going to come right up front.
You've been bit by some bad luck in the course of races. Have you all discussed about execution and what you need to do to try to find some of the consistency that has been missing, with the execution of the races?
Yeah, while we've had fast cars every week, I feel like there's been some miscues that have held us back a lot. Like at Atlanta, we had some loose wheel issues, and last week at Phoenix, we had a pretty good car, and then we had a track bar adjuster break, and that's an obstacle you have to overcome. And I felt like we were overcoming it, and then the driver sped on pit road 50 to go. And so when you have issues like that, it's important not to multiply them with further troubles like I did. It's all about minimizing mistakes and maximizing opportunities. And I definitely maximized the mistakes for us last week, and I put us in a bad spot. So we'll have to tone back on that, and I think that'll get us more consistent. If we do have a problem, we can overcome it. It's all about trying to overcome that and not making it worse, because then it just goes downhill from there. So I think we have a lot better grasp on that this year than we had last year. So hopefully we can just keep improving on that and getting that better.
We're going to come right up front here and then go to Brant. Then I'm going to hand it over to David Talley.
Ryan, K Presto Cars and Competition. This is a little more of a technical question. You came off a road course at Phoenix, now you're in a wide oval here. How much change in the caster camber and toe in the car is made between those two types of racing?
Yeah, really the whole underbody of the car is different. At Phoenix, it's a little bit more of a shorter racetrack. The braking is really heavy, so we run a lot bigger brakes there. And then that kind of comes into the cooling aspect of it as well. Here at Fontana, it being so big, 2-mile racetrack, you don't really use the brakes. So the whole front of your car is blocked off, and you run really small brakes, and that helps performance of the car. And the caster camber, all the front geometry is a lot different. And that goes from size of the track to banking to complete downforce and shocks and springs. It's a whole another level that I honestly don't have a huge grasp on. A little bit. Everything is different going from track to track. Now, we might have similarities from, we go to Texas in 3 weeks, and you have a lot more similarities from Fontana to Texas, just because it's a mile and a half and your loads are fairly similar. But loads on the cars are a lot different from here to last week, and that forces you to change everything just to maximize your performance.
And how are you enjoying your affiliation with these young students?
Well, it's been nice. I have just met them, or about to meet them, so I'm excited to be here. It's been nice to. We made this. I was out here for a media tour December, and it was nice to become a part of it. So I'm looking forward, and this is what we need is kids interested in the racing aspect of it in the sport, and it's nice to see their interest levels in it. And that's what we need. We need to grow to a younger generation, and it's nice to experience it firsthand, for sure.
We're going to go to Brant, and then I'm going to have David come up.
Brant James, USA Today Sports. Junior was in earlier, and he said, you guys are friends and were before and continue to be, and everything is passed with the radio chatter. But what's that moment like on Twitter or wherever where you realize that a whole bunch of people are suddenly really bummed out with you because you had, just sort of a back and
Wow,
forth?
I thought we were going to go a whole conference without getting that, and we met the quota, so that was good. I was looking forward to it, talking about it. But yeah, him and I talked after the race, and we're good friends and neighbors, and he owns the land that I live on, so strategically that might not have been the best part for me to do that to him last week, but we're good. He's a great guy, a good friend of mine, and yeah, I didn't get on Twitter for a long time, so I got on it Sunday after the race, and was hated widely by a lot of fans. And that was, I've never had that before, so that was something a little bit different. So I really didn't get on social media for a few days, and none of that really bothers me. But what other people think, as long as Dale and I are good, and we are. So don't tell Amy this, but I got her flowers already, so that was good. I have to put them at the bus. I forgot them today. They're in my room. Yeah, the social media side is good for the sport. It's really good for what we do and giving fans insight of what our daily lives are throughout the race, but sometimes it's a burden, and that just happened to be one of them. But you get over it, people forget, and Dale and I are good, like I said, so hopefully that blows over for sure. So I'm excited for Sunday. How many boos I'm going to get? I'm pumped for that. I haven't been booed before, so I'm excited. Yeah, do something new.
All right. While we're waiting for Lefty to arrive, thank you NASCAR for letting us take up 15 minutes of your time. Thank you Ryan for letting us take up 15 minutes of yours. It'll be a quick 15 and a fun 15, I hope, for everybody. We want to get up here and talk a little bit about our Lefty's Kids Club. For those of you who don't know about Lefty, we pride ourselves here at Auto Club Speedway in kind of being on the cutting edge of youth initiatives within the industry. Our Lefty's Kids Club has over 156,000 kids registered in the program, over 240 schools and 150,000 kids from 4 counties took part in our Lefty's Reading Challenge this year. But as any club, Lefty's Kids Club needs a leader. And although the efforts of Dave Allen, our track president, Josh Avila, our Senior Director of Consumer Marketing, and Heather Perrin, our Youth Marketing Account Executive, are admirable, it's not enough, and there's a lot to be desired. So today, Lefty is proud to announce that Ryan Blaney has been named Lefty's Kids Club President for 2017.
Oh,
Congratulations.
oh, thanks. Does he talk?
Lefty, are you ready to give us a little, just a little hint of what Ryan might be doing? He's a man of a few words.
Hey. I feel like I'm in a Cars movie.
So what we're going to do is, if you notice up front that you are going to be introduced to, we have some students who are here as part of the Shell Fuel for Success program, and they're also participants in this year's Lefty's Reading Challenge. Smith Elementary from nearby Bloomington. They have a couple questions for you, and then we'll open it up to the floor for our NASCAR media.
Perfect.
Who's first? Do you have a mic?
Hello,
Hi.
I'm Melanie Nunez from Smith Elementary, and my first question is, what educational skills am I learning now in school can be applied to professional racing?
Yeah, well, one of the biggest things I feel like that racing is about now, it's not only about driving a race car as fast as you can and being on the edge of control. It's a lot about speaking with whether you're in the media center, taking questions from news outlets, to speaking with sponsors who get our race cars on the racetrack, and even communication side with our team to try to make our race cars go faster. That's something really big I took away from all my years in school is trying to be, and I am still working at it, as you can tell, of not being as nervous in front of crowds. And I felt like that a program at my school helped, whether it was English class, going up and giving speeches in front of the whole classroom. I couldn't even do that in middle school and high school. I get too nervous. And then I got to do this a lot more, I thought back and realized how much that actually helped me, trying to overcome those nerves in front of big crowds like this. So I feel like that's one of the biggest things I took away from the school system for the racing side of it.
And my second question is, what track do you feel you have the best chance of winning at, and why?
I feel like our team is capable of winning every week, to be honest with you. How we're performing right now, I feel like if we just put ourselves in position and a couple things go our way, we can end up winning one of these races. I think we have the speed to do it. It's just all about a big team effort. This is what this sport is everybody working together as a team. That's what most sports are, and that's really what life is in general. And whatever career job you have is working with your team and communicating well. So I feel like we have a great shot to win this weekend or a month from now, no matter what track it is. It's just all about putting pieces together.
My name is Giovanni Casada, and my question is, what is the best part of your job and the most difficult part of your job?
That's a good question. Well, the best part of my job, not only we get to drive race cars, that's a given. We get to do what very few people can do is, we are encouraged to go as fast as we can in a car, and everywhere else it's frowned upon. But I think one of the best things is traveling. We get to travel all over the United States, get to go to a lot of different cities, a lot of different regions, from out here to the West Coast to, Miami, Florida, to Dover, Delaware, to North Carolina, and anywhere in between. That, to me, that's one of the coolest parts, and you see different cultures and regions, and you see some great things and places, and meet really neat people along the way. So I feel like that's one of the best things about this job. The hardest part is trying to beat 39 other race cars and drivers. That's the toughest thing. Like any other sport of football or basketball, you're just trying to beat another team, of 5 players. There's more than that, but on the court at that time, to where here it's completely different. We have to deal with a lot more other drivers, and that makes it pretty tough. So the preparation work the week of, the preparation and the dedication during practice, and throughout the weekend and throughout the race is very tough, trying to make your car go faster than everybody else, and then trying to drive better than everybody else. These are really good race car drivers over here, and it's tough to be the best one that weekend. So I would say that's definitely one of the, if not the hardest thing about this sport.
Thanks for the question, kids. Any other questions for Ryan while he's here?
Thanks.
Ryan, your first responsibility as president of Kids Club is to read during driver's reading time tomorrow, at 9 o'clock in the Lefties Fun Zone. Thoughts on that?
I think is that Sunday?
Sunday,
I think
I'm
it's
sorry, yeah.
Sunday. I was about to say I'll be 30 minutes into practice tomorrow, but I'm excited to do it. I've never done that before, so it'll be a neat new experience for me. So yeah, I'm pumped to see what I have to read. I don't even know what I'm reading yet, so it's a surprise.
It will be a surprise.
What we have to read. So, do you guys pick out what I read? Do the kids pick out what I have to read? No, I think guys should. I think y'all should do that. Pick out a random book, and your all's favorite book, and I'll read it to you.
There you go. We have one question from Bob over here, Bob Pockers.
Speaking of kind of favorite books and fans, how in the world did you meet Daisy Ridley?
Yes.
And,
Yeah.
I mean, like, were you nervous? Were you able to talk? Were you tongue-tied? Take
Yeah.
us through that.
Yeah. So the best part of my week in LA was I went to the Lakers game, and they were facing the Clippers, and Darrell Wallace and I went, and NASCAR got us all situated, and there were great seats. And Daisy Ridley, for those of you who don't know, she plays Rey in the new Star Wars, The Force Awakens, and for the layman out there who doesn't know what Star Wars is, but she went walking by, and I freaked out. And Darryl doesn't know who she is. He doesn't know Star Wars. He was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "That was Daisy Ridley, Rey in The Force Awakens." And she goes walking away, and I didn't think we'd ever see her again. So we leave midway through the fourth quarter. Wasn't a great game. Clippers were beating them pretty bad, and we have to walk through like the players' tunnel to some club to get to our car. And guess who just is happening to walk through the tunnel the opposite way as we're walking out is Daisy. And I was like, "This is fate. This is destiny." And so I walked by, and I said, "I hate to do this, but I hate to be this guy, but can I get a picture, please?" And she was very nice. She stood there for a second and took a picture with me, and we didn't really talk that much. I didn't know what to say. Number one, I was just trying not to sweat profusely and make a fool out of myself. But yeah, that was definitely a really cool part. I've always wanted to meet her, and I think she did a great job in the new Star Wars. So that was cool. That was like my starstruck moment. I don't get starstruck very often, and that was one of them. So it was nice. It was great.
Chris?
Did you at least introduce yourself to her? Did she know who you were?
No, she don't care who I am. No, she had no idea. She, what am I going to say?
You just said I have a lightsaber. I mean, you have a
I'm
lightsaber
sure
collection.
I'm
You
sure-
have a lightsaber collection. I mean, I just know.
I'm sure
how-
she meets thousands of people who say that to her, and I would just be one of the 1,000. I should have asked her out. Yeah, I bet she gets that millions of times too throughout the year. Yeah, but she doesn't know. I wasn't going to be like, "Hey, I'm free to drive race cars." You can't do that. That's not cool. So I just said, "Hey." I didn't even tell her my name. It's gone forever.
You didn't even tell her your name?
Nope. I'll never see her again. I doubt it. No, she doesn't have social media. I know. I've checked. No Instagram, Twitter, nothing, man. No way of contacting. That was my one chance, and I blew it. Her friends do? We'll find out. We'll find out.
Any other questions? Ryan, thank you very much. Lefty, congratulations on choosing a great president to represent your club. I'm sure Sunday will not be as pressurized as this or your recent meet and greet. So
Oh, thanks.
thanks for coming in, and congratulations.
Yeah, thank y'all.